Well, the market didn't break yesterday's low. That was trigger enough, perhaps, to lead to this powerful short covering. And we are now at day's high. In fact, it's been a stunning move on the Bank Nifty, where perhaps you had more shorts after the last 2 or 3 days. That's seeing even bigger rally if you see the intraday chart on the Bank Nifty up about 0.6%. This is closing well. I'm Anuj and with me is Surabhi. Hi Surabhi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anuj. Just when you thought it's going to be one sleepy, Tuesday, suddenly things have changed in the last half an hour. And you were talking about banks. I was actually looking at the recovery on SBI, ICICI Bank, even HDFC for that matter. A lot of these big boys moving higher right now. We'll get the intradays up for you. But sort of, what does this tell us? Because just when you were wondering whether it's going to extend yesterday's decline, it recovered from those levels, as you were saying. Either we go to the 20 DMA and break it, or we recover.
No, I never thought that we'd have a sleepy day, and that, for me, this move doesn't surprise me, Surabhi. This was our morning call as well, that if the market does not break yesterday's low, then you will expect a lot of short covering. And the reason for that is very simple. Just because FIs have sold in index futures or they've bought puts doesn't mean that the market will fall. At the end of the day, they are also human beings. If your trades get wrong, you do cover them. And that's what's happened today. Essentially, what's happened today is that the market sort of trapped the shorts. In a way, yesterday's low was very important. Today was kind of a day where I think a trader who has planned his trade should be very happy, because this is how the market should be. A trending market, it's easy for you to make money. In this kind of market, you have to respect your levels. You have to respect the risk reward. If you had given risk reward and importance today, you should have made a lot of money, because the only thing you needed to do was buy and put yesterday's lowest stop loss. That's the only thing that you needed to do today. And if you've done that, you made your money. Now, it's anyone's call what happens in the last hour. But, any remaining shorts, my sense is they would have been cleaned out by now. And if there are any, they would be. The larger picture, I think, still has to play out. Is this a market which is now tested its 20-day moving average and is now ready to move again on the upside? Is it going to start a fresh expansion phase? I think that's something that we'll find out. But for now, one thing which got established is that the uptrend has not been broken. The last 2 days fall, it's okay. The things will happen. But you got now an important marker. Yesterday's low on both Nifty and Bank Nifty is now your sacrosanct support. And the way some of the big stocks are moving once again, HDFC in particular, see the intraday chart of HDFC, Axis Bank, I think the way some of the big stocks have moved once again smacks of some kind of buying by FIs as well. We'll, of course, wait for the numbers. But for now, I think it's absolutely textbook stuff which has played out today.
Okay, so big move in the last half an hour or so. Are the bulls going to be able to build on it? That's the question that we will have the answer to. Let's tell you what's lined up on closing bell today. Benchmark indices recover from the day's low to trade near the day's high. The mid-cap index is still underperforming today. ICICI Bank and TCS drive the Nifty higher, with Asian Paints and HDFC being the key drags, though, of course, HDFC is staging a very smart recovery from the lows of the day, even as we speak. We'll discuss a lot of these trends with the fundamental experts, SP Tulsian of sptulsian.com, market expert Anand Tandon, and Sudeep Bandopadhyay of IndiTrade Capital. Now, with the market focus staying on elections and, of course, earnings also on the horizon, can we expect this rally to continue? What are the key triggers right now? What is the portfolio call? We'll ask Shribani Sarkar Kurian of Kotak Mahindra AMC. And as always, our technical experts will take you through the key trading strategies for the last hour as well.
Okay, just look at Ashok Leyland's chart. That one's moving to the high point of the day, so that's looking quite good. In fact, is now your top F&O gainer along with Canara Bank. So these are two names where you're seeing some buying. How should you position yourself in this last hour? Ashwani Gujral and Mitesh Thakkar now join us with closing strategies. Good afternoon. Ashwani, been a very good last 2 hours for the bulls. Your thoughts on whether there could be some incremental short covering, or should this be it? And should profits be taken at these levels? Essentially, your last hour calls and your stock calls as well.
Well, it's not really a 150-point style move. 40 points from the, from yesterday's close. So, yes, at, 11, 550, 570, the morning levels was a good level to take long positions and then stay long from there. But I don't want to stretch this too far, because if you have a 100-point Dow fall, you will be back to 11,550. So now what I'm looking to do is to look for a rally to say 11,780, 800, and then fail from there and again come hurtling down like yesterday, because the momentum in the market is quite poor. It looks difficult to see that we'll break 11,800 and keep going higher. My sense is we are still range bound, and playing both sides of the range is probably the right way to go, and for smaller moves. Having said that, Ashok Leyland is a buy with a stop of 88, target of 96. Adani Enterprise buy with a stop of 140, target of 152. And Biocon is a buy with a stop of 610, target of 635.
Okay, so Ashwini is going with 3 buys for the last 1 hour of trade. Let's bring in Mitesh's calls in as well. Good afternoon, Mitesh. Pretty smart recovery. I mean, just when you thought that there's nothing happening in the market. Are you trading the indices now for the last hour and, of course, stocks?
Yeah, good afternoon. So I think, we had already taken a position on the index yesterday, given the fact that I've been advocating to buy the index closer to about levels of 11,550, and that maybe even we're trading stop loss that. Let's see how far we can see that position roll. For the time being, I think it's more of stock-specific trades. I have a buy on Siemens with a stop at 1133 for targets of 1195, and Petronet is a buy with a stop at 235 for targets of 250.
Fair enough. Those are some technical calls. We have SP Tulsian of sptulsian.com and market expert Anand Tandon now joining us. Good afternoon, Mr. Tulsian. Smart recoveries. PSU banks continue to do well, especially Canara Bank. That's one of your picks, of course, among PSU banks. But your thoughts on this sharp recovery that we're seeing?
Sanuj, in fact, in the morning we gave a buy call on the Bank Nifty that yes, the things are looking positive for this weekly option expiry. And yes, I agree that the PSU banks are seen contributing, but probably I think the more force will be coming in from the private sector banks, and 2 or 3 stocks, which really looks good. Could be SBI, ICICI Bank and Yes Bank, all 3. And maybe Kotak and HDFC Bank will also participate into the rally maybe tomorrow, day after, because the weekly option expiry is really seen to be very crucial, and that is having a positive outlook, because first week, as I've said at the start of the series, and again, a couple of days back on Friday morning, that we are keeping positive bias on this week's weekly option expiry, and that view is seen intact. So yes, a positive view on the banking stocks, but more tilted towards the optimism on the private sector bank rather than the public sector banks, except SBI.
Okay, let's call on bank stocks, many of them recovering from the morning lows as we speak. We have Anand Tandon joining in the conversation as well. Anand, good to have you back in Closing Bell. So, of course, it's going to be a spotlight on earnings come this Friday with the biggies kicking it off. Now, there's obviously some accumulation, some rally that's taking place on the IT side of it. Which stocks would you put in your portfolio? If you could suggest, say, 1 or 2 mid caps that you like right now, and perhaps a large cap pick as well.
Well, I think the IT stocks are so well researched that there is not likely to be any major difference that you'll find between one recommendation and the next. So I think from the large cap, you'd probably stay with Infosys and HCL Tech perhaps, but otherwise from the mid cap, the space is a little wider. Not that everybody is doing very well, but some of the product companies probably seem to be doing a little better.
Okay, the stock that's turned from sell on rally to buy on tips is DHFL. Just pull out that stock once again. And out of F&O ban, it's seeing a lot of buying interest once again. Just see that stock. It's moved into the green. Any thoughts here, Mr. Tulsian? It's been a decent move for DHFL, and the market seems to be pricing in something.
See, Anuj, now the talks are all going on that the new promoter, the new strategic investor is seen coming in, and I think the negatives are all seen behind, because the kind of fear which we were seeing mainly on the shell companies, existence of the shell companies, is not seen to be existing there, and that is giving the big relief. And whatever on a fundamental valuations, you had the concerns of non-monitoring of the funds and all sort of things, because that report of the investigation report of the auditors which have come has really given a very good clarification and comfort, and that is seen to be really playing out. So 140, 145 has really acted as a good support, and now the buying is keep coming in, and probably more news flows will come in on the strategic investor front. You will see the stock moving up further, maybe to a level of 178 to 180.
Okay, by the way, just just keep an eye on the index once again, because at 230 there's a bit of a move happening almost on a daily basis. The bank Nifty has started to see some bit of profit taking after that trending upward move that we've seen over the last 1 hour. Just beginning to see a bit of a dip. So it's going to be that kind of market. So it'll be not the trending market like we had, 300, 400 points almost on a daily basis. I think this is a market in which you'll have to take your sort of profit rather quickly if you're a trader.
I guess it's going to test your skills as a trader. It's not as a no-brainer trending sort of
I think so, and perhaps that's going to be the trend for some time. This global market also has turned very, very volatile. So that's also, a crucial factor right now. The premiums are very large. The Nifty future premium of 85 point, I don't know, because, this is technically earnings month. You normally don't have these high premiums. On the Nifty future, 85 point, Bank Nifty future, I think more than 150 point. That's a very large premium, by the way. Okay,
that's an interesting data point from the F&O market as well. Anand, I just want to go back to a stock that Anuj was referring to a while back. Ashok Leyland is seeing some interesting buying. Obviously, now this stock has been slammed so hard, trading below 100, falling to its 52-week low. Do you think there's durability in this recovery? Would you recommend buying this dip on Leyland?
It really depends on your take on whether you believe what the management says, which is that there will be pre-buying later on in this year for the changes that you have in the the Bharat pollution norms, etc. So if you believe that the cycle is kind of over, which to my mind seems to be a little more plausible argument, then there is no particular reason to be buying. If, however, you think there will be a pre-buying uptick, then you could make an argument that there is some upside from here. Stock has corrected, but I think for good reason, because of the kind of performance that it's belting out, and I don't think that I see that changing in the next 5-6 months.
Anand, good afternoon. What about Tata Motors? That's one stock which clearly has made some kind of bottom.
Well, yes, it may have made a bottom, but I don't see it uptick in the performance just yet. And I don't know what, other than the fact that the promoters have been buying, has been driving the stock up. So if the promoter buying stops, then I think, and the kind of rally that we have seen, I would argue that at least right now is not the best time to be probably getting into it, unless you have information which I don't have.
Okay. By the way, lots of the PSU banks are surging to the highs of the day. Look at Canara, Bank of India, Indian Bank, Allahabad, PNB. I mean, name any PSU bank and chances are you'll find it close to the highs of the day. That's the PSU Bank index itself. According to Abhishek's calculations, he was telling us earlier that Canara is going to be the one that will perhaps benefit the most with respect to mark-to-market gains on the bond portfolio, considering how yields have moved.